Welcome to Sustainable Leadership Live. I'm your host, Lisa Danforth, and I am really excited today to have the dynamic Debra Eckerling here. Debra, thanks so much for showing up super early for you today.
Well, and thank you for having me. And, this is what we do, right? We want to spread our message. And if it's 7 in the morning Pacific time, so be it.
And
I'm
you look
just glad
fabulous.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Today, we're going to be talking about goal strategy for event attendees. How do we make the most out of our investment, time and financial? So Deborah is an expert in this. She is really getting out there and talking more about it because it's so important. But before we jump in, Deb, can you just share a little bit about you and how you got into this and whatnot?
Oh, absolutely. I'm Debra Eckerling. I'm author of Your Goal Guide, a roadmap for setting, planning, and achieving your goals, and creator of the Deb Method, which is my system for goal setting simplified. And I started out doing a writer support group ages ago when I did events for Barnes and Noble. One day someone came in and said, "Hey Deb, will you start this group?" And I said, "If you think people will show up, I'd be happy to start it." And it was a hit, and who knew that would start me on the path of helping people figure out what they want and how to get it. So I know. So fast forward, been doing this for years. It evolved from for writers to writers, creatives, and entrepreneurs. Now I basically help people do exactly that. Figure out the foundation for the goals because that's key. Make a plan and turn it into reality. And I do that through speaking, workshops, and consulting. And it's so much fun, right? Well, you know this. It's really fun to help people live the life that they want and deserve.
And I find as well, it's that goal setting. People want to get into action, but they don't always pause to make sure that the actions that they're taking are actually moving them closer to where they want to go because they don't always know. How do we get started with this? I mean, this is pretty specific. So it's goal strategy for event attendees. How would you recommend someone sort of start teasing this out?
Okay, well, first it starts with DEB. So it stands for determine your mission, explore your options, brainstorm your path. And as you can imagine, I've been like the last 2 years, I'm like, great, this cosmic pause is perfect to reframe your life and rethink your goals and really live that life that you want. But it starts with that foundation. And in the events, it starts with that too, because going into an event, you really need to know what your business goals are because you know it may be fun, but it is, as you said, it's time and money, but it's also energy. So you
Yes.
really want to make sure that you're using that to get the most out of it. The other secret, and this is the big secret, when you go to events, you don't need to meet everybody and you don't need to learn everything, right? Because when you try and do everything, you learn nothing.
So agree
You
with that.
yeah, your head explodes and you come back and you're like, okay, wait, I was just. And even if you're doing it at home, even if it is a virtual event, it's still your time and your energy, which is also money. So it really starts with, why am I going here? What do I hope to gain from it? And think about it, it's what sort of goal can I achieve in attending this event that's going to help me with my big picture goals. So
Yes.
everything ties together.
Right. Setting that long-term goal, that long-term vision so that you can make your shorter term actions and priorities in context too, which is just so very important in anything that we do. Where would you say that most people sort of struggle with getting started with this? I know for me, it's people like, I don't have time to slow down. That's a luxury. So, but we got to figure out where you're going. Where do you see people struggle with this most, and how do you help them work through that?
I think the biggest struggle people have is they don't do the legwork for themselves and their
Mhm.
business. And I'll go back to D, determine your mission. So it starts with visualization. When you think about the life you want, what does that look like? And yes, everything has changed so much over the last couple of years, but really the things that you love, the things that you excel at, that doesn't change.
Mm-mm.
Maybe the format's a little bit different. Maybe your goal was to speak to like big packed audiences. Now your goal is to speak to big packed audiences online. Whatever it is, that's fine. It's your goal. It could be whatever you want, but it starts with that visualization because you need to see it to turn it into reality. So you start with that, and then the current bio, And then the future bio, what do you want your bio to say the end of this year, the end of next year, or even like the end of the summer, right?
Yeah.
What does it say now, and what in the first person, because that's like the power of the future bios, third person, in the present, right? So what does that say about you? And then think about your mission. Who are you? What do you do like better than everyone else? What makes you unique? And how does it help other people? And then once you've got that mission, you want to drill it down to a motto. Mine is Goal-Setting Simplified. So everything I create is with that simple in mind, because life's challenging enough. The instructions need to be easy. I made them really easy. So that starts with you, but also when looking at an event, okay, what is your mission for the event? Do you want to be on more podcasts? Are you just going there to meet other people who do what you do so you can be resources for each other? Or are you going for that all important education? What track, and this is especially important if a conference has multiple tracks, and most of them do, what do you need to learn? What is the one thing that you're going to get out of this? And that's really an answer. I'm like giving you 5 different answers. So,
So take notes, everyone.
so the first one is know who you are, know your business, right? Know what it is that you have to offer the world to make it better. And then think, okay, great, this is my unique thing. And then, wonderful, what is one thing that I can accomplish? Okay, you can have 2 at this conference. And who do you need to meet, and what do you need to learn to elevate? And you're going to have so much information thrown at you, and you can go to all the sessions. Fine, I am not going to take that away from you. But what I'm saying is, think very specifically about what you want to get out of it. So after the conference, you can take action.
What I love about that, it's the prioritization. It's
Right.
really getting clear on the prioritization. One of the things I work on with my clients is, okay, so we have your 1 to 3 priorities, no more. Put those in order of priority. So if you could only do one that would reap the most rewards for you, which one would that be? And I think that actually has made a huge difference for me and my clients, is really prioritizing your priorities, which again is kind of a luxury that, right? It's like, just let me at it.
Exactly. And the other thing with prioritization is, look at it in, as you accomplish certain things, then you get to accomplish more things. So it's really about getting those wins and stacking them. So whether it's, I want to start a live show. Well, let's just use this as an example. You're going to a conference. Those are the sessions that you need to know. I mean, yes, pre-recording, repurposing. I'm sure all of these sorts of things are in that whole array. But start with, okay, just the launching. You can grow later. And then the other big secret is there's always another conference. There's always Google. There's always more things that you can learn. You can also, keep the list. This is the other thing I recommend. So you've got your need tos, your want tos, and would be nice to. So you go in with those priorities, but also knowing, but I'm going to learn how to launch my live show, but I really want to also, it would be nice to meet some more people whose shows that I can be on. So it's being open to other things is great. So I don't want you just to have tunnel vision, because, I want you to have fun, because that's the other reason we go to events, to meet people, to learn things, to elevate who we are and what we do. And if all you are is thinking, okay, I just have to learn this, well, that's not okay either. So be open with the things. So you've got your priorities, your needs, wants. It would be, great. I feel like it's a gray area the way I'm explaining it, but it really isn't. So you have the things you need to learn. You have the things that you want to learn. Maybe they're your passion projects. And then it would be nice to, if you trip over this information, great, you'll incorporate it. It might not be yet, but just to have that array of things as you're going in, then you can also choose what will fit with your needs.
Right. And that clarity helps you choose. One of the things I really love about what you just said is prioritizing some fun in there as well, making sure that it's not all just business. And it doesn't have to be, a full day of fun, but just those moments of connection for yourself. We need to integrate our personal life and our professional life because they're not mutually exclusive, they're interdependent. So that for me, that just like had a little sing for me when you said that. It's so, so very important.
And the other thing that needs to be added is just because it's not in person doesn't mean you can't be having fun. A lot of the virtual experiences incorporate networking, incorporate ways to meet new people. And think about it, it's not just, okay, great, I'm going to learn things and I'm missing out on work. And where's the personal interaction? Well, if there's no personal interaction and that's important for you, then don't go to that event. However, that being said, you can make personal interactions happen in whatever events you go to, because I have the little your copy and paste of where people can reach you just ready to put into the chat or into the breakout room. Really note, right? Do you do that?
No. But I'm going to now. Thank you. I'm like,
Excellent. Excellent.
It's those simple things I believe that we so overlook that are incredibly impactful. I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. So you want to have that, and I just have it's on my desktop. I've got a notepad, and I've got like 3 or 4 different versions because sometimes they want everything, and sometimes it's appropriate just you put your name, your website, and your social handles, and that's fine, or where to best email you. Usually I will do my website, my LinkedIn, and my email, and then I'll say I'm at the Deb Method everywhere, because if people want to find me, they can find me. But it really starts with, first of all, it starts with LinkedIn. If you're copying and pasting anything, be sure to be putting that in, because that people are you're gonna look people up. You want them to look you up, right? So you want that. For me, I feel like it's the Rolodex. That's the way that I see LinkedIn. It's all the people that you know. And if you're younger than Gen X, please forgive me for using the word Rolodex. Google it. But it's really
That's funny.
It's a great way to stay in touch with people. Oh, well, we were talking earlier. I just launched my event outcome optimization newsletter on LinkedIn, and yes, please do. But within a couple of days, I think I had 200 subscribers, because when you start the newsletters, thank you, it recommends you to everybody.
Right.
So you meet people. They're gonna, whether you start the newsletter before or after, it's something that's out there. This is my information. This is a way to stay in touch, which it's like jumping ahead. After the event, you met these people. You want to stay in touch with them. And it's a great way to have that contact. Oh, I feel like I'm going off the rails. I know, it's totally fine.
No, I think it's all encompassing, right? It's a recipe.
Exactly. Food, yay, I love it. Food always comes up in my conversations, and it's always brings me so much joy when I'm not the person who brought it up, because
I was a caterer for 14 years, so it's like, so there you go. Is about food.
But it is part of that recipe for success. You want your LinkedIn ready to go, reflective of you before you attend an event. So when you meet people, you can connect with them and they could really see who you are. And then afterwards, you leak out the breadcrumbs, ways for people to get to know you better and what you do. And when I'm looking for guests for my show, I'll just go through my LinkedIn. I have a topic, I will put in the search. And if it's someone I haven't seen in ages, maybe I'll do a pre-call. Sometimes I won't. But again, the people that you meet, they're going to be your resources. They'll be your champions. They might be your clients. You don't know. But because you don't know, you always want to put that best foot forward.
I would love to back up just a little bit. You talked about virtual or online networking.
Yes.
What are your recommendations for that? When I went to social media marketing world, they had a Facebook group and a Facebook page, and people were posting events. Like, that was very easy. But I think a lot of us don't even know that there are these online chats, online forums to have those conversations. How do we search that if it's not so obvious, or how do we utilize it at the highest extent?
Well, the easiest, because we're all about the simple, is ask. just ask. Ask for a hashtag that you can be following on social media. Ask if they've got a Discord or a Slack group or a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group. Maybe they have none. Maybe they have one. If you're really ambitious, start one. If you are that leader and you don't see a resource for bringing people together before, during, and after an event, create one. Why not, right? You have the power. And especially if community building is your thing, find I use your word, sustainable way to keep those relationships going. And if they don't have a group, start one. If they don't have a hashtag and you're in social media, I think they need your help. So let them know, right? But look out, search. You can search Facebook, you can search LinkedIn, you can search hashtags. If you do not see one, ask. And if you are in the social sphere and you don't see one, maybe you really need to be offering your expertise, because so many events miss out on that ability for the connection. So take it upon yourself, or do as I say. Make sure you're connecting with the people that you meet. And remember, it is not a salesy connection. It is a great meeting you at either the event in general or this panel or in the coffee line or whatever, but something memorable. And I love this because it doesn't just help them connect with you, it helps you connect with them. I had the beginning of the year, this woman reached out. She said, Deb, we met last year. Let's have a conversation. I knew I met her. I knew I liked her. I couldn't remember where I connected with her. So I went into our LinkedIn conversation. Great meeting you at the event today. I did not write the event down. I always write the event down, but I went into my calendar to see what I was doing that day. And I'm like, oh, that's where we met. So it's making it easier on yourself when you put in that details, but it also makes it easy on the people that you're connecting with to remember you.
It's so true. And we need to make it easy on ourselves and on others. I just want to give a shout out to Helen Gain, who often joins us. Thank you so much. And she's dialing in pretty darn early this morning. So thanks, Helen. I really appreciate it. Hey, one thing I wanted to say about hashtags. A friend of mine, Donna Cravata, calls hashtags like a campfire that people just gather around in the conversation. And that for me, because I always thought, what the heck is a hashtag? That for me really put it in context. So when you were talking about hashtags, I just think that's such a really cool idea to make sure that just to jump in on the conversation.
Absolutely. And let's go back to simple. If this event has a hashtags to follow, a Facebook group, a LinkedIn group, a Slack, a Discord, whatever it is, you don't need to be in all of them. Pick like one or two.
Thank you.
Be protective of your time. And that's really what event outcome optimization is all about. It's looking at what works for you, looking at your goals, figuring out what works for you, doing the things in a way that is manageable. So you're going to do something consistently with the information. You're going to develop the relationships. Again, if you try and do everything, you can't do anything. So pick and choose, divide and conquer, and set yourself up for success.
Now, I notice we're kind of coming to the end here, but I do have one more question. What do you think about people reaching out to the coordinators and saying, who are the people attending? Are they business owners, predominantly leaders, demographic, psychographic, value graphic, those types of things? Is that something that's acceptable for people to do to really get a clarity on, is this the best investment of their resources?
I think yes.
Okay.
I think if you don't ask, you never know the answer. And if you are going to the right event, they're going to want to be engaging in those conversations with you. They want to make the experience good for you. And so I work with companies and individuals going to events, but I also speak at events to really get people jazzed and excited about the information and the connections coming at them. So look for those events that want a good experience for you, because then it's win-win for everybody.
Can't go wrong there.
No.
I would love to finish with one question from you or for you, which is, what one skill set or habit do you implement to help you live and lead a more sustainable life?
I think calendars are your BFF. And and so I have, well, I have it as a Deb appointment. It's not like I forget, but an hour a day at least, I'm working on things to build myself, build my business. Because especially when you are an entrepreneur, solopreneur, and we get so much joy from helping other people,
Right.
but we have to remember to also be helping ourselves. So I am always most successful when I do the things I tell other people to do, but to put the time in the calendar, and not only putting in the time, but marking the wins, the things that I've accomplished during that time, because it really helps as you're building, because things take forever. We live in an instant society, and we want everybody to know everything that they need to know like yesterday, right? But when you are tracking your wins on a regular basis, and you don't have to do this every day. I've got 5 of 7 rule, which gives you permission, take the days off when you need the days off.
Mm-hmm.
But when you track the things, the wins, the tasks that you're doing, the end of the week, the end of the month, you're like, okay, where am I going? Am I getting there? Yes. You've got, not only do you have proof, you have motivation, because you're doing the work and you're building. And that's something that I always recommend, and it's something that I do myself, because it really helps keep me motivated and moving forward in my mission to help people live lives that they love so they can have a better life.
Anchoring those wins is so very important. We can anchor the failures, the losses, the misses, whatever it is, but we don't always anchor the wins. So thank you. Love that. Where can people reach out to you, find you, connect with you, Deb?
Well, please connect with me on LinkedIn and mention that you met me through Lisa. And you can also reach out, info@thedebmethod.com, and you can learn more about me and event outcome optimization at thedebmethod.com/goals. And I'm at the Deb Method everywhere. So please find me, connect with me, and let's you can't reach your goals on your own. That's the other reason why I really honed in on events. You need information, you need people. We elevate each other in the information and the knowledge and the resources. And once you really tap into the specifics that you need and develop those relationships, really anything is possible.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing your brilliance with us and the resources and all of it. It really was wonderful. And now we can go forth and just conquer these events and whatnot, virtual or in person.
Yes.
So next week, I have Sweta Chala on July 27th, 10 a.m. East Coast time. Please join us next week. I would absolutely love to see you. If you're watching this live, thank you for joining us. If it's on the replay, please type in #replay. I would really appreciate it. Thanks again, Deb.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.